January the 6th, 1969, U.S. Army Lieutenant Daniel Cheney and his co-pilot died in Vietnam when the helicopter was hit while providing cover fire for a downed pilot. Cheney was 21 years old. Heartbroken over his death, his mother, Mrs. Red Cheney, searched for some reason to reach out to contribute in a positive way. In 1995, the year the United States normalized diplomatic relations with Vietnam, Daniel's sister, Geraldine Brousseau, her husband and her mother, Mrs. Red Cheney, started PeaceTrees in Vietnam. This is a non-profit program that removes landmines and other unexploded ordnance in Vietnam and replants the cleared land with trees. Mrs. Red Cheney and Geraldine have returned sorrows into significant work which helps heal the wound of war and bring the Vietnamese and American people closer together.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Talk Vietnam. The story of a mother and a sister of an American pilot who were able to turn their grief into humanitarian work has moved the hearts of millions of people around the world, and especially here in Vietnam. Now, in our talk today, we're lucky enough to have them in our studio to talk about their story and also the work of PeaceTrees. Their names are Mrs. Ray Cheney and also Mrs. Geraldine Brousseau. Thank you very much, Ray and Geraldine, for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
We understand that, Ray, this year you've just turned 90 and you're still very much active. How are you today?
I couldn't be better.
So how has your trip been to Vietnam?
That's difficult to put in a few words. And I'll tell you why. Last night when we were landing, it came to me that I was now going to walk on the land that for 15 years I chose not to do. And what did I expect? What were my hopes? Would I feel accepted? But I knew that last one for sure, that I was already accepted by the Vietnamese people. Through the years, with PeaceTrees, every Vietnamese person who's visited our land, I've had the privilege to meet them. And that was one of those specific joys that I was looking forward to.
It has been a difficult decision for you to make, and you finally made it, and I believe that this trip will be very much interesting and memorable for you. And it's to celebrate also the 15th founding anniversary of PeaceTrees. Is that right, Geraldine?
That is correct.
So how has the trip been for you so far, Geraldine?
It's been miraculous. We landed last night at Noi Bai Airport and came to our hotels. And this morning we had a meeting with Mr. Vu Xuan Hom at the Vietnam Union of Friendship Organizations and had an amazing surprise. And we've been working with Mr. Hom for 15 years. He was the welcoming official of the Vietnamese people when we first came to Vietnam in early 1996. And today was a very special day, unlike any meeting we've ever had, when our friends and supporters and really family members from the U.S. were with us. And then he made a surprising announcement that Mother would be the recipient of the Vietnam Union of Friendship Organization's Peace and Friendship Medal.
Ah, congratulations.
Which would include also Quang Ly, our country director, Mr. Quang Ly, and included myself as well, which was very humbling, I will say. We're very honored.
Now, going back to your brother, Daniel,
yes.
Can you talk a little bit about Daniel?
He was full of life. He had a great spirit, enthusiasm. My parents were kept busy trying to find things for him to do that would keep him, from causing trouble and getting into mischief. So we were very close all of our years growing up. We lived on a farm and we played together a lot. He was a really wonderful person as well as a great friend.
Oh, for you, Ray, I know there is no words to describe the grief or the pain of having to lose a family member. But if you, looking back now into the years, do you remember that day? What were you feeling that day when you received
There are no
news?
words to describe it
There
at
isn't.
all because of the pain. But I'd like to tell you a little bit more about him because we talk about him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what was so important to me and to his father was the beautiful memories we have of his growing up years, and we never missed anything that he was a part of. But you don't, you know, there's days that come and go, and there's no feeling exactly the same day when you suffer a loss. And I've gone to this land every single day since 1969 in some way or other, in memory.
Oh. So for you, I mean, going back to Vietnam now, were there any time kind of throughout the years when you feel at all any negative feelings towards the other front line, the opposite front line here in Vietnam, where your son had passed away?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, we've suffered this loss. But then always and always is the question, why? Why? So, you know, I was bitter and I had a lot of resentment. We just managed day by day. But then, you see, what happened was I heard this conversation about PeaceTrees Vietnam and knew very full well that there would come a time when Geraldine would come to Vietnam because she spoke of that desire and that commitment many times. And my involvement with PeaceTrees changed my life. So one day I will never forget when Geraldine said to me, "Mom, perhaps if you'd like to get involved, we really are in desperate need of somebody to thank our donors for the people who are committed to help us with this project."
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I can do that. I can write and I can express feelings. Well, today I've written almost 8,000 of those thank yous.
8,000, wow.
And that was the day of my healing. My healing began when I could think about every time I wrote the message, I thought of the moms in Vietnam and my desire to know them, to reach out in some way, to let them know we had a bond. That's how I did that.
Talking about PeaceTrees, we're going to now take a look at a clip. In the past 15 years, since its establishment, PeaceTrees Vietnam has done a lot of work for the people of Quang Tri province. It has cleared some 50,000 landmines and bombs and cleaned over 120 hectares of contaminated land. Now, on these demined land, it has also built many houses and also kindergartens and trees along the motto of PeaceTrees. So we'll have a look at that in the following.